Hello, hello. Happy Saturday. What's going on? I'm good. I'm hanging in there. It's good to have the weekend before us. I typically don't do videos on the weekends, but I don't know. I'm just trying to switch things up. And yeah, essentially, I actually have plans to play basketball in a little over an hour. But I was like, you know what? Like I could throw in a chess video before the basketball, and that's almost a full day right there. So I was like, what the hell? Let me do it. So yeah, we're just gonna get into the 5 minute pool. One of my friends that actually played in the previous video was saying you were talking about the Smith Mora. I haven't seen any Mora games from you. So if I get the opportunity, I'm gonna try my hand at a Mora. If someone so dares to play the Sicilian, I'm gonna try my hand at a Mora and see what happens. So, anyways, I'm in the queue. I'm waiting, and yeah, we'll see. Someone was telling me also in the comments the other day that Lee Chess is where the action is these days. I'm curious to see what that looks like, how that's changed. All right, so this looks like a modern defense. I don't employ what I would call many would do in the modern, which is like basically play for checkmate. Um, I typically am a proponent of doing something a little bit different. A lot of people play like bishop e3, queen. What am I saying? Yeah, a lot of people play bishop e3, knight c3, bishop e3, queen d2, and like basically like English attack it. And I feel like you're giving black a sharp dynamic game, which is what they usually are seeking in those lines. So I try to do it a little differently. This position is really suspect, in my opinion, for white. I mean, sorry, for black, because I don't like what black has done here, putting the knight on e8. I have a really healthy pawn chain right now, pretty much free of charge, so I like my position right now. And I'm going to relocate this knight to g4. I want to play knight h6 check or bishop h6, so that's the idea there. It's interesting because if I allow this capture on d4, then all of a sudden black has good control of the b4 square. So I'm wondering if I should play d takes c5 here. That's what I'm going to do because I don't want to give black that square. Now knight g4. Knight h6 check. Put that king on h8. Bishop b5 looks logical to me. Oh, I caught him with a tactic, I think. Because basically, it sucks the knight. I want to play rook takes e4 so badly, but it doesn't work. I'm going to go bishop c6. I think that works, just playing takes on d5. And now I'm just a pawn up. I really want to play rook takes e4, knight takes f7 check, but the knight on e6 is protecting the queen on d8. But this is still good for me. I'm up a pawn now. Things are looking pretty good. Now knight d3 is a threat, so I'm going to play... what am I going to play? I'm going to play... should I play bishop c4 to parry that threat? Or bishop e3? I'm going to go bishop e3. Bishop rook d7, rook d1 protects the bishop on d5. So I should be okay here. Just have to be a little bit careful. I'm threatening to play bishop takes c5 and then knight takes f7 check. So again, I'm a pawn up. I'm doing well here. There should be no problems with the conversion if I don't do anything stupid. Yeah, so now I'm going to take on c5, and my goal is to play knight takes f7 check. Because the knight on e6 is very loose if he takes with the b pawn. So I think almost knight takes h6. A bishop takes h6 might be forced. And yeah, this is already a real problem for black, because now I want a second pawn, and these rooks are both really getting targeted right now. Yeah, I should be winning this easily if I don't do anything ridiculous. So rook e2 is a threat. That's a little bit... I mean, sorry, bishop e2 is a threat. This bishop on a6 is pretty active. I sort of want to get rid of that activity. So I'm going to play c4. The idea is essentially, it's a little bit double-edged, but the idea is to cut off the blood of the bishop on a6. Now I got to get my king in. Ah, I blundered. I blundered bishop c2. Damn it, that was stupid. Wow, that really sucks, because now I threw away most of my advantage. Most, not all of it, but most of it was thrown away with that move. Damn, that was stupid. Ugh, I should not have given up the b3 pawn. I'm still a pawn up. Good control of the position. I'm a little bit annoyed that I blundered that. Yeah, I gotta focus on some of these conversions because I'm getting these great positions, and I gotta. Oh, and that's a blunder of a bishop. All right, so apparently I didn't need to focus that hard. But leading up to that, I think I played pretty decently. I won a pawn, then I won another pawn, and yeah, then the rest should be cleanup. But it got a little bit murky, so. So yeah, I'll take it. On to the next. And I'm sort of wondering what my ceiling is as a player that's talking and playing. Wow, another German. Wow, I guess we're just going to play Germans today. Oh, I guess we're going to play Germans that play the London system. I think this is already pretty good for black because I have knight b4 on deck, which is a pretty strong move because now I'm threatening knight c2 check and rook takes a2. So I think this is just good for black. Playing queen takes b6 for white is never a good idea. You just you give white this sort of open file for no reason. Yeah, so king d1, maybe that's a good move. The question is, does it trap my knight? I don't think so. I think I can get it out by just playing e6 at the end. So I don't think my knight is fine. I think I've just won a pawn. So I wonder if I'm being. I don't know if I'm being too greedy about it or not. But I have won a pawn. Now, white is threatening knight c4, which is a bit of an annoying move to face. So I'm going to play d5 with the intent to just cut that out. Knight e5 is an interesting move. Trying to play bishop e5 check. I'm going to play... knight d7. Somehow I think that white has full compensation is probably just a little bit better because white has this massive, massive lead in development, and I'm sort of struggling here to make ends meet. So something went wrong. I'm going to bring my knight here. I have to try and get some activity somehow because it seems that, I mean, again, I'm up a pawn, but I'm so undeveloped. I was a little bit greedy to do what I did. My position is looking extremely murky. But I am still a pawn up somehow temporarily. I think if white slowly improves, yeah, f4, very smart move, just slowly improving, because my position is just, it's like a boa constrictor. It's so hard to move any of my pieces. Literally, what do I move? I have no idea what piece I should move. I think I'm just going to try and hold tight and hope that I don't run out of moves. But I'm literally paralyzed. I have literally no moves. It's this amazing, amazing stranglehold. But again, I'm just sort of hoping that that white doesn't find a breakthrough while I shuffle. Because I can't move anything. I can't move either of my knights. Because if I move my c knight, there's rook takes c6, which is a problem. So it's just really brutal. But again, it's the question is what does the German do? How does the German break through? That's the question. Because you would like to break through without giving up either of the bishops, and that might be tough to accomplish. Yep, and this is just a losing position for me still, but I'm going to try and fight. Again, now the problem is my king on g8 is very, very weak because it's like it's like just like a very, very like bad bind on my pieces. But now at least my knight has been freed, so maybe my knight can now go to f6, and I'm threatening bishop takes f5, which is a huge development considering I lacked so much activity. So I'm going to go for this. I might have somehow managed to hold this, actually. Now I'm actually a pawn up, amazingly. Somehow. So now I can actually try to win this somehow. Amazingly enough. I have winning chances. I'm a pawn up. I'm going to try and force... force the issue a little bit. I'm going to shut up so I have time to think here. There we go. That's a queen. Woo! Wow. I somehow managed to survive that really ugly bind. I think in a longer game, this German would have gotten the best of me, but it's not a great sign if you don't come up with a clear plan in Blitz, and after the shuffling, like eventually if you don't come up with that clear plan, you're going to start to flounder. And he was trying to squeeze me, and he was doing a good job, and then he sort of just lost a little bit of control when he played f5. So, yeah. So I'll take it. Yeah, it's a good thing because so many Germans, over the years have won skirmishes that... another German, my gosh, I'm just playing like a murderer's row of Germans. Man, it's amazing. But there's just so many Germans that have won things, over the years. They seem to win almost, at least I'm half Danish, and from a Dane's perspective, they've pretty much won every war, and it's just, it's just tough sledding for us. Anyways, I'm going to take on D6. Oh, man. Now everything is hanging. That was really stupid. That was really stupid. I shouldn't have done that. Because now I just lost a pawn for no reason. And I have no central control. This is really problematic. This is hugely problematic. I just blundered a central pawn. Like, I'm just hugely worse here. I don't know what got into me there, but I got a little bit excited playing e5. But I don't know. I just blundered a pawn for no reason. Queen b6 is a very good move, just trying to connect the rooks, but also attacking one of my weak points. And now my queen is on h2, which is just an unsightly place for your queen to be. My gosh. But I'm going to try and cling to the 2 bishops for what it's worth, and maybe that will hold me. But this bishop is just absolutely garbage. You can't say any of my pieces are on their proper square except perhaps my king. So I have to stop e5, so that's why I played rook e1 here. And yeah, now he's going to try and play e5, but I can't allow that, so I'm going to play bishop e5. And as long as he's burning time, that's somewhat of a good sign. Now he's going to play queen c7 because he wants to try and trade queens. Well, that's actually surprising. I would love nothing more than the sack on f5 with my rook. Like bishop takes and then rook takes f5 and then give some checks. But there's not a perpetual yet. But I would love nothing more than to sort of get some sort of phantom attack going against Black's king here. Knight d6 I don't like. It seems to ruin the coordination that white has built up. I don't understand, or that black is. I don't understand knight d6 because now the knight on d4 looks super loose. Now the question is, can I take advantage of it in any way? I play knight a4, then queen, knight a4, queen b4, knight somewhere else, c3, knight c5. I'm going to go, should I go knight a4 here? Is that what I should do? Knight a4, queen b4, knight c5. Yeah, I'm going to go knight a4. And then knight c5, maybe? I don't know what to do. I'm just going to go b3, and now I'm threatening c3 at least. Oh! Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I blundered that. Unprotected pieces, man. They get you every single time. Every single time! Well, that was bad from the beginning. I blundered a pawn on like move 6. I don't think I should have played e5. I was a little bit overzealous there. It's not really in my style. It might be a good move, but it's just not my style to play in that way. And yeah, then after e5 I decided to develop again. So I would just sort of, if I was going to play this way, I maybe should have considered going h4 now, you know. But I was sort of half-assing it, which is never the best thing to do. So yeah. Oh well. On to the next. Alright, so as we wait here, actually, there was something that did come to my attention the other day, or yesterday rather. This thing with the Magnus Carlsen Maurice Ashley interview, where Ashley was like, essentially saying, yeah, you had several hiccups along the way to your +1 score. What happened, blah, blah, blah. And then Carlsen was like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Like, I'm not an engine, like, you know? And I think that was actually first of all, I think Carlsen is right to sort of respond to that. I don't think the way he responded to it was necessarily the right way, but I think it's cool to call people out for like Maurice, essentially, what they ask him to do when he's commentating these events is essentially be the engine guy. He looks at and the hype guy in a way. So he and he's good at that. He's a good personality. So he looks at the engine. He talks about what's going on, and then like what the computer says the best thing to do, and then he sort of leaves you with the well, what's going to happen next? Stay tuned right here. Don't go away, you know. And then afterward, they bring the players in and they have these press conferences, and they're like, well, did you see that computer move, or did you see that computer move? And again, like I mean, the way it's done, it's like it's not ideal, but it's decent theater. It's not the worst thing in the world. But the thing is, like, at some point, I do think we have to start to like just realize these are humans playing, and that's why the game is special. You know, it's because humans are playing, and I think a lot of times we lose sight of that in the way we just the way we evaluate positions and the way we see things looking, and you know. That being said, I think Maurice handled it really well, because that was sort of like a blindsided attack, right? Like, I don't think Maurice went in that interview expecting Carlsen to just go off. And keep in mind, Carlsen has not had the best year lately. I mean, he hasn't won a tournament since the match, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, he also has a little bit to prove, and maybe that was on display. But in any case, I think there's a lot we can learn from that interaction, that, you know, is worth learning and pointing out. So, yeah, it was just really interesting to me. So take that for what it's worth. So I have a file here. But white is definitely better. White has the pawn majority. I played this. I forgot what this line of it. Yeah, the Tartakower Khan, where you play knight f6 and e takes f6. And essentially in these positions, white is a pawn up, in many ways, because of the sort of the pawn structure, right? I have these double pawns which don't mean much. I think I might have knight d5 here, though, which is interesting. Yeah, I'm going to go knight d5. I think I have an interesting opportunity here to bring the knight over because of king f1. So now, like, there's some tricks where I might have, like, queen a6 check or a bishop d3 check if the queen on f3 ever moves. And yeah, now I have knight f4, which actually comes with some threats, because now I'm threatening bishop d3, check, which should pick off stuff. So I think black is actually okay now. I'm a little bit surprised that he allowed knight d5. So rook d1 stops bishop d3 or knight d3 for the time being. I'm going to play h5 in the meantime, just to sort of take more space on the king side before white was going to play h5. And it's a tricky position now, because I'm down this pawn. I'm technically down a pawn on the king side still, but I seem to have some decent control of the king side squares. So even though my queen side's a little bit weak, I don't know. The problem is how to proceed here, because it doesn't seem like, I don't know what my next move is. I don't know what, I can't really move my bishop anywhere. My knight doesn't have prospects yet, so I'm trying to figure out what the next thing to do is. I'm gonna go knight d5 back. It seems like I was just tied down, because I couldn't put anything on d3, so it just seemed like all my pieces were tied down. I'm going to put my knight back on f4 because I don't know what to do. Amazing how chess works. I don't know what to do, so now I'm just going to put my knight back where it was. I'm probably worse here, but I'm just trying to get something going. Any last-ditch attempt to get some counterplay. That was the idea with queen b8, just to go b5 and just get something to break through, get some activity, some sort of energy going. So at least I have some pins. The knight on e4 can't move. The bishop on c2 can't move. That being said, I'm down 2 pawns, and they're 2 connected passed pawns. So unless there's something really sort of incisive here, it's hard to imagine there being much for me. But all my pieces are operating at sort of maximum capacity, which is good. Queen d3. I'm going to go knight f4 back. If he goes queen d3, yeah, now I'm going to go... I'm going to go knight b6. I don't want to draw here. Screw draws. I'm going to go knight d5 back again, because now maybe I have knight f4. Oh, man. Taking my ideas away. Oh, no, but I have f5 and f4 now, which I think could be pretty good. Yeah, missed that one. And now I'm actually, I think, winning, because now this g-pawn is pretty tough to stop, and again, there's still all these problems in the position. So, queen c4. Can I play g2 here? Is there any perpetual? Oh, there's mate. If queen takes d4, wow, there's mate. Alright, so I'm going to take here first, and then play g2. No, I'm going to take here. Ah, that's beautiful. Look at that. That is beautiful. Knight e3 check. Knight takes e4. Yup, that is beautiful. I'm going to play g5 to give myself 2 connected passers. Oh, that's lovely. That is so nice. Woo! That was a really, really nice tactic. I was worried a few moves ago. If we go back, I knew I was winning after g3 because f5, and then the knight moves, then f4, and I get this g3 pawn, and white is still pinned up, and I have a protected passer. But here I was a little bit concerned because if I just play g2, then there's queen takes d5, and then g8 queen. There's queen d8 check and knight g5 check, which would be problematic. Actually, now that I look at it, I could still play queen takes g5 and then queen takes c2 and be up a bishop at the end. But I just didn't want to get into all that drama. And I could take here first because the bishop on c2 is pinned. And after takes, queen takes c2, and it's just a nice finesse because the pawn ending now would be winning if white actually recaptured the knight. So, a nice little bit of tactics there. Yeah, I'll take it. Alright, who we got next? Alright, another GM. Okay. This time I'm going to play better. I'm going to play more reasonable than I have been playing. Because I gotta step it up against the GMs. You know, you gotta do something a little bit funky. Oh, the H3 King's Indian. Okay, these means business. I'm still gonna play E5 and Knight C5. Okay, Knight D2. That's somewhat normal. And then if I go Knight H5, White normally goes G3. But I'm going to go Knight H5 anyway, and then G3, yeah. I always want to go F5 here. It always looks fun, but it's not a good move. Because if I play bishop takes, then they have tactics. Like if F5, bishop takes, there's G4. But I want to just go F5 so badly. Nope, but I can't. I can't do it. I'm going to do it. I just can't help myself. I know it's Blitz, but I just cannot help myself. And this shouldn't work at all, but it's interesting, you know? It's like, I'm just trying to do some interesting stuff, you know? And this position is interesting. I have a knight on F4. I'm going to play pawn E4. My bishop, my dragon bishop is going to be pretty strong. And, I don't know, I mean, White's king is on E1, so, I mean, yeah, he's going to castle queenside, and his king will be safe. But it looks interesting to me. I can't help myself. And it's Blitz, you know. I just want to try some interesting ideas in Blitz. And I gotta go King H8 to get my king, preserve my bishop, and get the king off the diagonal. And now what? Now I'm at piece down, so I have to play. And I go Queen F6. And if I can get in B5 somehow, that would be really cool. Because then I maybe have a B5 to work with. I don't know. I have to play E3 and keep that closed. Can't trade pieces when I'm down. Maybe I'm going to get a second pawn here. That would be nice. Something tells me that I should have played Queen H6, not what I just did. But I have some counterplay now. Like I have some activity now, which is not what I could have said a little while ago. So it's not bad. The problem here is that I'm still starved for some activity. I don't have everything that I need to get revved up right now. I'm trying to get some counterplay going, but it looks like white is holding everything down. b5 is pretty much my last chance to get something, because I'm really just a piece down, and this bishop on f3 just effectively blockades everything. So yep, that threat's made. I have to do that. I have to take. And white is really going to extreme measures to try and stop my aggression here, which leads me to believe I actually have done a good job. I'm going to go king g7 to stop any ideas with queen g6. And I've done a good job here. I don't actually think I'm losing anymore, but I'm so down on time that I have to sort of move quicker than I'd like. Oh, I hate when I blunder like that. Oh, it's a shame. I really did actually have something. When the rooks finally came off, when he had to play rook takes e5, I actually think my position is somewhat viable. White's probably still better, and yeah, the entrance confirmed that. It's just equal position. But again, it's so tough when you're under duress to play these well. And I'm under duress on the clock, and because I'm talking. But yeah, again, the sacrifice is totally Coswallop, as they would say in Harry Potter. It's just awful. Like, I know this line, the G3 Sicilian, quite well, and just to give you some perspective, here, like with the H3 Sicilian rather, and to give you some perspective here, this is very dubious for black, but it's interesting, and the reason it's interesting to me, at least, is because white is neglecting to get the king safe to sort of get all the pieces of the King's Indian, the ideal squares. And the ideal setup for white's pieces in the King's Indian are bishop on e2, bishop on e3, knight on d2, and knight on c3. And the reason those are the ideal squares is because when white plays c5, the knight on d2 will come to c4 and hit d6. And just all the pieces are just, that's like the harmony, the perfect place for all the pieces in the King's Indian. And black needs to be really dynamic to fight against that. And I think there are ways that black can be smart about the dynamics, where there are a lot of interesting sacrifices here I think black could go for. And I've seen some where they play knight takes c4 and then f5, or they go knight f4, or they... now, f5 is a bad move because of, again, after e takes f5, I can't take the g-pawn because my knight is hanging. But I didn't feel like waiting, and I just wanted to see what happened. Evidently, it's not... Yeah, I mean, you can see e takes f5, and then, yeah, queen f6, queen e8. These are rubbish type of moves, but it's interesting to see how you can sort of try and get something going. And I mean, this is a losing position, no doubt. But I don't know. I thought I'd try it. So I'm a piece down, but I thought the knights on d2 and c3 are restricted for the time being, and it might be a little bit tricky to untangle. So that was the idea there. It backfired, but that was the idea. So, all right, I'm going to play one more game and then wrap it up. So let's hopefully end on a good note here. And I'm going to play ball, because ball is life. And about that life. So, all right. All right, d5, knight f3, knight f6, c4. Oh, a Slav. Oh, I love playing against Slavs. The slow Slav, my favorite. There's nothing I love more than just securing a bishop very quickly. Do you see me? I almost played king e2. I almost picked up the king. Ridiculous. Bishop d6. What to do against that? I think I'm supposed to play g3. I can actually just play h3. I'm going to play h3. The idea, a lot of times you don't want to castle too quickly with white in this system, because if you do, then you might have some problems. He's basically asking me to play c5, but I'm not going to. I'm going to play rook c1. Now they played rook b8, I know he can't. He's not castling queenside, so. And yeah, again, I have the two bishops here. That's supposed to constitute an advantage. And yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. I'm trying to play for that advantage. And what black gets in this pawn break e5, and doesn't really have any bad pieces, but he's down the bishop pair, I can say. So that's basically what I'm going to try and take advantage of. Bishop b6, bishop c7 I don't like. He's trying to line up against, he's trying to play queen d6 and line up against my pieces like that, but I don't know, I'm not buying it. The thing is, if I go d5, then he goes e4, and that gets very sharp. I'm going to take on e5, because if he goes queen takes e5, which he's going to do, I can play g3, and there's no mate. There's no mating threat. Once I play g3, that's sort of the end of it. And knight e5, trying to get my bishop, so I'm going to go bishop f1. Yep, expected that. Threat is knight d3, so now I'm going to go rook d1. And knight d3 is an annoying move to face, but I think I can just go rook e2. Or at least I want to try and keep my bishop here, because that's what if I have any advantage, that's where it lies. So my goal with rook d1 is actually now to play bishop c1 and trade the rooks. Knight d3, I'm going to try and keep my bishop there, so I'm going to go rook e2. And if queen e5 or queen d6, I'm going to go g3. Queen d6, okay, g3, expected. Now the knight might go back to e5, because now that I played g3, I've weakened the f3 square, but I don't think it's something that can really be taken. Whoa! I did not see that. Does that work? If king takes, queen takes, g3 is mate, so I have to take the rook. And man, this is dangerous. Should I go rook g2 or bishop g2? I think bishop g2 is actually better, because now I can entertain. The knight on f6 can't move because I have queen takes f7 check. So I think bishop g2 is better. And rook g2 actually would have hung my h3 pawn. So So wow, I didn't expect this sacrifice at all. But I'm a little bit quite skeptical that it works. But it's interesting. It's a very interesting try. Hmm. Now, Black has to come up with something really brilliant because if the dust settles, it's over. So I want to trade pieces. I'm going to go rook f3. I need to get the rook out of my face, or the queen out of my face. Just trying to trade some pieces. I mean, it's a little bit awkward to have my knight on d1, but as long as I have all these pieces huddled around my king, I think I should be okay. And then everything should start to tell. Because it's only 2 pawns for the piece, and frankly, that's not enough. So knight h5 doesn't actually threaten anything, so I'm going to go knight e4. Is now, I mean, not only am I covering the g3 square again, my bishop on e1 was already covering it. Now I might also be entertaining knight g5, which would hit the f7 pawn a 3rd time. So I feel pretty good here. I could actually play rook takes f7 and then knight takes g5, and then knight g5, I think. I'm just checking that now. Rook takes f7. Oh, it's check. Oh my god, that would have been a bad blunder. It's check. Alright, well, I'm going to go knight g5. And then knight f6 is probably forced. And then I can go... Then I have to figure out what to do. I'm going to go queen... Yeah, queen takes b7. It's a free pawn. And it ruins the structure. I did go up the g4 square with h4, but maybe the knight can go to g4, but not yet because I have queen c8 check. So my knight actually being on g5 is actually sort of a nice anchor. Up, and they fell for it. Queen c8 check, and I pick up the knight on g4. And that's all she wrote. All right. That was an interesting session. I think we saw some ups and downs. I think it's like the second or third day in a row where my lone loss is coming against a GM. Well, I beat GMs. I mean, it's not like I don't beat GMs, but I think it's tough to commentate and play at a high level in terms of converting the positions. I've gotten some really promising positions, and I'm not converting them because they're going to keep trying to pose little problems and tricks and traps. They're not just going to go away very quickly or easily, and I think that's the difference that separates a lot of the really stronger players from the rest, is that they just keep on trying to pose new problems to get back in the game or to finish the game. And if you just fall for one of those, usually it can be decisive. So so that's something that's important to point out and important for me to work on, honestly, because if I can see, the thing is most of the time when I'm doing the commentating, I'm playing on instinct because that's what I have to do. But if I can play on instinct at a high level and talk against the strong players, that would be huge. So because I think I start to think more when I'm playing the strong players, and then mistakes happen because it's Blitz after all. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a good rest of your Saturday, and leave thoughts, comments down below. Peace.